We are Cory and Wallace, an early retired couple on a full-time journey around the world. With a passion for exploring new cultures, discovering hidden gems, and enjoying delicious local food, we are on a mission to experience as much of the world as we can.
Good morning.
Welcome back.
We are going to head down and go to the buffet and have breakfast. It's not quite a buffet. We kind of had to pre-order, so we got a few things that we're getting. I think the fruit is buffet.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's different than 2 years ago when we stayed here where it was a buffet breakfast, but this time we had to pre-order an a la carte breakfast, so we'll see what we end up with.
Anyways, it's a very simple breakfast. I'm going to get like omelet or something. But we'll take you along and we'll kind of show you a few things that they have to offer.
So we just figured out why this place is called Hoi An TNT Villa. The TNT, according to that sign over there, stands for traditional and trendy. And also, first bit of our breakfast has come out. Nice plate of fruit, and we'll just wait and see what the rest of our breakfast looks like.
It's a very simple breakfast. Eggs or omelet with tomato and onion, salad with balsamic vinegar and oil, and some fruit. They're not at capacity, so they're just doing a la carte, which is totally fine because then they don't have any waste of food. But Wallace's, he ordered more of an Asian breakfast, and it looks a lot more interesting than mine.
I've gone with the Asian option, or one of the Asian options, and this is a big bowl of beef noodle soup, or pho bo in Vietnamese. So it's just slices of beef with rice noodles in this delicious looking broth. It's come with some greenery on the side, as well as a cup of Vietnamese coffee, which is sweetened with condensed milk, so that's cà phê sua, and also a glass of watermelon juice. All right, let's just try some of this broth. Oh, that's quite flavorful. Get a little bite with some beef and some noodles here. Not the best I've ever had, but it's pretty good, and that'll definitely do. It's a good way to start the day.
All right, we've had breakfast, and what are we doing next?
The coconut boats. It was something we were going to do last time. It just didn't happen. We were just like too tired, so we figured we'll check it out this time.
So it's officially the Cam Tan Coconut Village. And yes, like Cory says, we're going to be going out on some coconut boats. If you don't know what that is, follow along and find out. And so we're going to be meeting our bus downstairs in about 15 minutes. And Katie, who you guys met last night, is going to be joining us for this as well. And it should be interesting. It's also not that nice out today. Possibility of some thunderstorms, so we will see how this goes.
Which is kind of perfect because then our chances of getting sunburned are a lot lower.
Yes, that is fair. All right, we are now here at Cam Tan Coconut Village. We're about to jump in a coconut boat.
So these are going to be really tippy.
That's okay. Everything I've got on me is waterproof. Just in case.
Okay, không.
Good. So unfortunately we couldn't all go in the same boat. 3 is just a little too off-centered, so we had to split up. But I think we're just gonna hang out and like paddle down together.
These boats are pretty tippy.
They gave us these hats. It's very peaceful, actually. I mean, it's raining a little, and also I don't think there's too many tourists at the moment, so it's not like overcrowded on the river, so it's really nice. Katie. They even gave us umbrellas. So
It's starting to rain.
They've got you covered in all situations.
The bright side is we are definitely not getting sunburned today. So I'm not sure why they're called coconut boats. I mean, probably because they're round and look like half a coconut shell. But if you actually look at the inside of this, it's definitely made with some sort of plant material that's been like woven together. I'm just going to turn the camera around here so you guys can see what I mean. So I'm not sure if that really comes across, but yeah, it is basically made of some sort of natural material.
Unfortunately, it does have a smell of dead fish. I assume we're coming up on like some fish farms or something.
Well, we drove by some on the way in, yeah.
Yeah, and I assume we're passing them. We can't actually see them, but it definitely has that like dead fish smell, unfortunately. The paddling is very interesting. They do like an S and then like push it back. I guess that makes sense because it's rounded.
I think if you didn't, you would just spin in circles.
But it's really cool to see them navigate like a circular boat because that's something I've never actually done. So one of the things that they offer is that if you want to do the spinning thing, you do, I don't know how much it is.
I think he said 100,000, which isn't that much, but we both get quite motion sick, so that is not gonna happen.
Even just watching him do it made me sick, so there was no way I was getting in that boat.
That looked like fun though. He was having a blast.
Okay, this is my favorite part. Katie, smile. This is pretty.
I think.
We're currently crab fishing.
No.
Hi, lost him.
Oh, lost. I caught one, but I didn't manage to get him in the bucket. He fell off on the side of the boat and scurried off, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I caught one.
Hi.
What do you think so far?
This is really fun. It's really peaceful in some sections, and then other sections are really hokey. You know, they've got like one of the coconut boats over there, they've got speakers going, they're blasting music, and I'm pretty sure singing karaoke, which is really funny. We just finished a little bit of crab fishing down like the little side channel there, which was really peaceful and beautiful. These are really little crabs, but we kept the 2 that we caught, and she's bringing them back, so I'm guessing they will cook them up and eat them later today.
I'd say this is probably like one of the more touristy things that we've done
Absolutely.
in a long time. And it's kind of a love-hate relationship. You get to see things, but I don't love how they like mix in the music and stuff. I think that, for me, takes away from the experience.
It's a little much, yeah, but you know, it is just what tourists
like,
clearly.
and I think they learn that, and that's why it gets intermixed into these things. But
Yeah.
there's not much you can do about that.
No, otherwise though, still absolutely worth doing. We're paying 250,000 Vietnamese dong per person, and that included pickup from our hotel, 45 minutes, 50 minutes on the coconut boat, and then a ride back to the hotel after, a little bit of crab fishing. So, you know, overall for the price, it's definitely worth doing. Our boat driver just clarified, these boats are actually made of bamboo. So that's the wooden material of that I was able to show you earlier.
That fruit was called a water coconut, and I guess they eat it.
Yeah, it's like this big cluster of these seeds.
I've never
seen
heard
that?
of or seen that.
Yeah.
So that's something really new.
Wait till I get out.
What do you think?
That was cool. Very different. And yeah, definitely worth the visit, I think.
Yeah, I would agree. You're not going to get that experience anywhere else. I don't think there's any other way to do it other than a tour. So I would say I would recommend it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think we're just gonna maybe have a drink, and then we'll be heading back to our hotel soon.
That was fun.
It was, and we got back in pretty good time because now it's actually raining, and I think we got pretty lucky for weather, especially for last night too, because it could have been a lot worse.
And I think it's supposed to thunderstorm for a good chunk of the day. So I think the rest of the day is going to be a bit of a food vlog.
We'll see. Yeah.
Right now,
it's lunchtime and we're hungry, so
yeah, I found a place that does gluten-free waffles, so that's where I'm headed.
we've arrived at Le Gomme Cafe and Bakery, I believe it's called, which is a little place that was on the Find Me Gluten Free app. It's actually pretty busy, so the inside seating's pretty much all full, so we are sitting on their little outdoor covered patio section. Looks like a decent little place though, so this should be good.
My waffle has arrived. It's a mochi waffle, which is just like rice flour and stuff. And we'll see. It looks amazing. It's a little on the dry side, which is fine. I don't know if you guys can see this. It's a little crispier, which is perfect. That's the way I like it. It's really soft on the inside, and it's a lot sweeter than like the average waffle, but it's so good. I thought that the banana was just cinnamon sugar. Ends up it's creme brulee. Look at this. Perfect brulee. It is really good.
I went with just a light snack. This is the salmon onigiri, which is basically sushi rice wrapped in seaweed with some salmon and mayonnaise on the inside. But it looks really cool the way they've done it. It might be hard to eat with a fork, but that's all I've got here is a fork and knife, so let's just try to get into that.
Whoa, that's got a lot of flavor. They've got some togarashi sprinkled on it there as well. So it's a little salty. You got a lot of different spices and flavors like sesame seeds and some orange zest and peppers and seaweed and all this other flavor going on. The salmon mayo mixture in the middle is actually really tasty. That is really good.
A few moments later.
So, because I don't get too many treats, we found another bakery just down the street, and I am able to get like a pound cake and a carrot cake. So I'm hoping that they're not too sweet and they're good.
And because we forgot to say it already, this place is Dingo Deli, which is like a little American-style cafe deli. And they also do a bunch of baked goods, desserts, that sort of thing. And again, this place was on Find Me Gluten Free. So I've just gone with an apple pie, just because that's what I felt like. It honestly looks a little heavy-handed. The crust is really thick, so we'll see how this tastes. It's interesting. The pie crust isn't really like normal pie crust should be. Like, it's not flaky at all. It's almost more like a shortcake kind of pastry. Flavor profile is okay though. It's not bad.
I went with a carrot cake and 11-pound cake. Honestly, now that I'm looking at it, it looks really heavy-handed. Like, that's how thick the cream cheese is on the carrot cake. Alright, let's see. So that's the carrot cake. The cake itself is good. There's way too much icing on it, so it kind of takes away from it. But if you like the icing, you're probably disagreeing with me on that. The pound cake, let's see. It doesn't look like it cooked very well. It looks very heavy. There's not much texture to be had. It's really, I don't even know how to describe it. It kind of melts in your mouth. It's not cakey at all. And it's just like a big sugar bomb in your mouth.
I'm gonna try Cory's gluten-free desserts. Unlike her, I don't mind too much icing. It's one of my favorite parts about it, so I'm quite happy with that. A little heavy-handed, but overall not too bad. Oh, I see what Cory means about the pound cake though. The crumb is really interesting. It's really dense and really heavy. Yeah, like Cory says, it's really heavy. It kind of just dissolves in your mouth. There's no real crumb to the cake. It just is kind of dense and honestly, a little disappointing, unfortunately.
It's the next day. It's our last day in Hoi An. We were gonna film dinner, but we ended up going out for dinner with Katie, so we didn't. But we did find an amazing restaurant, which we're actually gonna go back to and show you guys because it's worth showing.
Yeah, so it's absolutely disgusting this morning. It rained and thunderstormed all night, and it's still raining and thunderstorming now, so we didn't get up to anything else. But we are going to go take you guys along with us for lunch before we head back to Da Nang. So come along with us, and let's see how bad the weather is out there. We might be walking, we might be taking a Grab. We'll see.
Cory wants to walk. I vetoed it. We're ordering a Grab because it's raining a lot right now.
His logic makes no sense because where we're going, there's at least like a 5-minute walk at the end because there's no cars allowed. So either way, we're walking.
Yes, but in the 10 minutes extra that we're gonna walk in this rain, even with these giant umbrellas the hotel's given us, our shoes are gonna get absolutely soaked through.
They're gonna get soaked no matter what.
I beg to differ. You can walk if you want. I'm ordering a crab.
I win. We both ended up like stepping into a huge puddle getting out of the car, and we're soaked anyway.
Yeah, but you know what? I'll still take the grab ride for $1.69. That was still preferable to walking in this rain, so. All right, after a short, very wet walk, as you can see from the camera footage, we are at, it's Miss Lee, I believe, is how it's pronounced. And this place is really cute. We came here last night with Katie for dinner, and food was delicious. It was relatively quite affordable, and most importantly, I think pretty much everything but like 4 of the dishes is gluten-free. So Cory's got a lot of options here and gets to try some authentic Vietnamese food. Our appetizers have arrived. And this first one is a regional specialty to the Hoi An area, and this is called a white rose dumpling. In this particular case, it's a white rose shrimp dumpling. So the rose just refers to the fact that it's kind of shaped like flower petals on the plate, not anything to do with rose being in it. So it's basically a rice flour, thunder. It's basically a rice flour steamed dumpling with a shrimp filling. And then it's topped with crispy fried shallots, and it's got a little bit of a light sauce around it. And so I'm gonna dig in here. It's best just to spoon it up so you get some of the sauce and just try to eat it whole. Absolutely delicious. The sauce is salty, savory. You've got the little bit of firm chewiness from the dumpling wrapper, the springy shrimp filling, and then that crunch from the fried shallots, and that's really good.
I just had the rose dumpling. It's amazing. It's such a subtle flavor. It's amazing. Just well done.
Our second appetizer is just a standard vegetable fried spring roll, so nothing special there. Really flaky, and the inside's just mushrooms, carrot, some other veggies. I can't really identify it. Nothing special, but the texture is really cool. I don't know if you can see. It's like super flaky and really crispy. So Cory's gonna enjoy this, I think. I just figured out what that mushy texture is in the spring roll filling. It's got taro root in it, which when it's cooked, it's just really starchy. That explains why it's just kind of like a little bit of a mushy texture. Not the most pleasant texture profile, but overall the flavor is good, and that really crispy spring roll like rice wrapper makes it really good. Okay, well, I wasn't gonna order another appetizer, but since this episode's basically become a food vlog anyways, here we are. So we were chatting with the server, and she was saying how this was one of the specialties of the region. So this is a fried wonton, or at least Hoi An style fried wonton, and so this is pretty much unlike any fried wonton I've ever seen. And it basically is a fried wonton wrapper, and it looks like it's got shrimp and tomato and onion, and I think I even see some broccoli in there, so some other vegetables in there on top of the crispy wonton skin. Looks really interesting, so let's try to get into this. Oh, this is going to be a two-hander because it's really heavy with all the filling. Oh, it's falling apart.
I was wondering how you're gonna eat that.
I failed. Oh, that's really interesting though. It's unlike any fried wonton I've ever had. The filling is like basically a shrimp stir fry with like tomatoes and onions and veggies, and then piled on top of the crispy wonton skin. It's tasty. Really hard to eat though.
So the other thing that we did order, we ordered it last night. We ordered it again. It's Morning Glory. It's kind of like a spinach. It's called Morning Glory. It's green vegetable. It's really good. It's really well known in like Asia, so it's something that we've been eating a lot of. But they do it really nicely here. They add chilies and fried garlic in it, and it just makes it way tastier. You can definitely taste the garlic. The Morning Glory is really fresh, really, really like good quality, and it's just really tasty.
Technically, this fish is Cory's main course, and it's basically a fish steak that's grilled with all sorts of herbs in a dark sauce. I think it's soy sauce based, but it is gluten-free. But it's got lemongrass, chilies, garlic, cilantro or coriander, and a whole bunch of other stuff wrapped in a banana leaf and grilled. It smells incredible. So you saw it come to the table. She unwraps the banana leaf package, and the aromas coming off of there are just insane. That's so flavorful. It's just savory and just cooked beautifully. You get all the aromas of those spices and herbs. That's tasty. Alright, my main course has arrived, and honestly, I was this close to ordering the khao lao again, which I had here last night, and it was delicious, but as I had it last night, and you also saw in this video, I had khao lao for breakfast at the hotel. I decided not to have it for a third meal in a row. So this afternoon, I'm having a banh mi. Now this is a pork banh mi, which looks really good. Really fresh, crunchy bread, pork, vegetables like pickle, all sorts of other herbs and pate and stuff in here. So I'm sure it's going to be delicious. See that? It's good. It's perhaps a touch sweet for my taste in the pickle, but still really tasty, really savory pork, and then the crunchy bread makes for a pretty dang tasty sandwich. We are done our meal. Overall, very good. So Miss Lee Cafe here in Hoi An, very tasty, and I would definitely recommend it overall. One thing though, the banh mi, honestly, if I'm being perfectly honest, wasn't the greatest. The pork was a little bit dry, a little bit overcooked, and the flavor profile was a little too sweet. So I kind of wish I had ordered the khao lao again, because that was delicious. So if you come here, that would be my recommendation. Try the khao lao rather than the banh mi. If you want a good banh mi, there's any number of sandwich shops on the street here that would do a good one. But anyways, we need to get back to the hotel and get checked out and make our way back to Da Nang. And the rain's picked back up, so I think we're going to be taking a grab back.
Overall, it was amazing, just like last night. So I knew exactly what I was getting. No surprises there. The only thing I have to say is about the fish dish. I don't eat a lot of rice, so I didn't order it with rice. They really had a hard time with that yesterday and today. Today they actually tried to bring me rice and they didn't understand that I didn't want it. I guess the only criticism I can give them is if they really want to include rice into the dish, it should just come with the dish. Anyways, I would highly recommend this place. There's so many options. I only ate a couple, and I was not disappointed. I'm sure anybody who's gluten-free would be able to find something that they would love here.
Well, as you can see from the road conditions, our attempt to walk back to the the hotel might not be successful, so we're now looking for a way across the street and avoiding going through that giant puddle.
Not just Molly that we get kind of stuck trying to walk home in the rain. That puddle is impressive. I think we're going to have some trouble getting across. I have to find out what happens.
So you can see the flooding on the street, but you can also basically see the high tide line on the sidewalk. All the leaves and debris pushed up, way up on the sidewalk. That's just how much water there was this morning. As expected, despite these really good umbrellas from our hotel, my feet are soaked. My socks are just completely drenched inside my shoes, and they're making squishy sounds right now as we walk back to the hotel.
This is impressive. Even for Bali rain, like comparatively, this is really impressive. So that's gonna wrap up our time in Hoi An.
Yeah, you know what? No complaints. We had great weather for the first day for the Full Moon Lantern Festival where it counted.
Yeah.
And you know what? Honestly, I had a good time this time in Hoi An.
I agree. I think the reason we didn't like it the first time was because maybe we were just too burnt out. It was kind of in the middle of our trip. It could have been just overwhelming at that point. I don't know, but this time coming at it with fresh eyes and like lots of sleep and like not being stressed out. Yeah, no, it was amazing.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, now that we're retired, we're slow traveling, we're approaching it from a different mindset. And I think that made all the difference. And I honestly really love this little 2-day side trip to Hoi An. And if and when we come back to Da Nang, I would do this again. Absolutely.
100%. We found a great little restaurant. It was just super enjoyable, actually. So,
yeah. So I think that's going to do it. We're going to leave it there. We're just going to check out of here and take a grab back to our Airbnb in Da Nang. So thanks very much, you guys, for coming with us to Hoi An. We hope you've enjoyed these couple of videos. If you did, please make sure to hit the thumbs up to give us a like and make sure you subscribe.
And we hope that you'll join us in our next video for more adventures. Until then, stay curious and keep exploring.